What up, my boxing family? It's your boy Martin, aka the Boxing Purist. Welcome once again to the Truth and Absolute channel, where I speak the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me, good God Almighty. You know your boy Martin kicks it unbiased. I keep it real. I like to spit it 100. As we like to say, right? I like to leave the emotions at the door, lock it, toss the key, and keep it real with y'all in whatever subject I touch on. So with that being said, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button, all right? We have fun here. Hit that like button or the dislike button. It's all love, like I like to say. Anyway, let's get into this. So, we already know last night we had the fight, you know, undisputed versus undisputed. My man Canelo Alvarez versus my man Charlo. It wasn't quite the fight that none of us expected. Canelo dominated from beginning to end. However, he dominated. He is the more skilled fighter, but he also dominated because Charlo, in my opinion, was just not ready for the moment. It was too big for him. Anyways, let's move past that. So what happens now? What happens after? Where does Canelo go from here? Where does Charlo go from here? Since the fight didn't quite play out how we all thought it was, I mean, we kind of thought, you know, and knew that Canelo would win. However, we didn't know it was going to play out like this, but this kind of changes things now. It kind of changes things now, right? So Canelo has options. We know he has options. We know the fight that everyone wants to see is, of course, against him and the Mexican monster David Benavidez, which I think is going to happen. I'm pretty sure is going to happen with the 3-fight deal that he signed with PBC some months ago. However, I don't think that'll be the next fight. But when you really think into it, you really think into the fight, what possibilities or what matchups make sense for Canelo to take? Of course, Benavidez makes sense, but who else, right? Of course, you got Terence Crawford out there, kind of threw his hat in there and, you know, said that he would fight Canelo at 168. The only and listen, that fight sounds great on paper, right? Hell, I'd buy it. You'd buy it. A lot of y'all would stream it illegally. That's just a joke. However, it would sell. But this is my take on that fight. The Crawford fight doesn't make sense for Canelo because it's a lose-lose for Canelo. As it is, last night's fight, you know, I went to work today, talked with a couple of buddies, asked them, you know, what did y'all think of the fight or whatever? And I got the same answer over and over. Oh, there's weight classes for a reason. There's weight classes for a reason. Why is Canelo fighting smaller dudes? This and that, this and that. And then me, I'm thinking like, okay, it would be a solid argument if Canelo went looking for Jamel, and if Canelo won because of the weight class. You know what I'm saying? Okay, now you have an argument, but that wasn't the case in this fight. That was not the case in this fight. There are levels to this game, and in my opinion, the biggest thing, like I said in my last video, that happened was the moment was just way too big for my man Charlo. Whatever. I know that he'll move on from this. I know that he'll do better after this. Let's see if he goes back to 54 or 160. Going back to Canelo, of course there's Benavidez. The Crawford fight, while it's a possibility, I just don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. But what else and who else does that leave, right? The Bivol fight, I don't think it's going to happen. Bivol does not want to fight Canelo at 75. He wants to go to 68. Canelo is stuck and pressed on fighting Bivol at 75. So I don't think that happens. I think it would take an insane amount of money to get Bivol back in that ring at 175. But who knows? It's the boxing game. And of course, you got Demetrius Andrade out there. The only problem with that fight is Andrade, although he's a great boxer, does not have a following. And you know what? He hurt himself because he spent way too much time chasing big fights, calling off other fights. He should have stayed active and forced big fighters into the fights. It looks like him and David Benavidez are going to get it on, I believe, sometime in November. It's not yet written in stone, so we're not sure yet. We will see. But I'm kind of at a place right now where what options does Canelo have? So that's that. Now, Charlo on the other side. Jamel, of course, he has Tim Tszyu there, who we thought he was going to fight next before he got the Canelo fight, right? Of course, him and Crawford were jawing back and forth for a little bit. However, last night, Jamel's performance kind of changed that for my man Terence Crawford, because how Terence put it was, dog, he pretty much said, dog, you didn't even try to win, which It sounds bad. It sounds really bad, but Jermell was just trying to survive in there, right? And I'm not a professional boxer. I'm not in that ring. I'm not taking those shots. I'm not hating on him. However, I personally believe that your stock does drop because it shows if you're in a big moment like that, you're not going to quite perform to that level that you're expected to perform to. And a good fighter needs a great dance partner to make him look good, or to make the fight look good. Last night's looked like a sparring session. If he gets in there with Crawford, yes, he would be a decent amount size bigger than Crawford, but nonetheless, it's another moment like that against another fighter who's just a dog, as Terrence Crawford is. Of course, we got Tim Tszyu there. The Tim Tszyu fight makes the most sense to me for Jermell to pursue, simply because Tim Tszyu was a name that was already thrown out there. Tim Tszyu's been wanting this fight. They've jawed back and forth. It makes sense. However, how does Jermell's body react from fighting at 168 to going back down to 154? How does that work? How does it play out? Who knows? I guess we just have to wait and see. So those are a couple of possibilities there. Back to the Canelo. Is it possible, and I would not like this, but it's a PBC thing, they could somehow make it happen. Is it possible that they would try to fix a rematch with Caleb Plant just to fill in that third slot for the fights? Again, I know the Benavidez fight is going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen in May. If it happens, I think it happens next September sometime. That's just what I think. Who knows? Make it a big, Mexican Independence Day weekend super fight. But who knows? Anyway, so that's the outcome of the fight last night. Performance. Again, Jermell's stock kind of dropped a little bit. Not to me, just you're seeing what's going on in the boxing world with what Terrence Crawford is saying. So who knows? We'll see what happens, though. Tomorrow shall be another day. Tomorrow's Monday. We'll see what news comes out of it, what they're talking about. We shall see the numbers that they did probably later this week. Who knows? Anyway, let me know who y'all think Canelo should fight next. Rather, we all know who we want Canelo to fight next. Who do y'all think Canelo is going to fight next? Who do y'all think Jermell is going to fight next? We got to wait and see. Nonetheless, we could chop it up about it. Drop a comment down below. Let's talk boxing, y'all. Much love. Y'all have a blessed week. God bless y'all. Peace.